Come join our family of 6 on our 2-week, 1,870-mile road trip in our modified Lance 2185 travel trailer from Utah to Arizona and back to see the Parowan petroglyphs, the Valley of Fire, Lake Mead and the Hoover Dam, Lake Havasu, Quartzsite, Friends in Phoenix, canyoneering near Tortilla Flat, Goldfield Ghost Town and Mine, Sedona, Arizona, the Grand Canyon, Horseshoe Bend, and the Coral Pink Sand Dunes before driving through snow back home. This is our first big road trip after all our modifications to make our travel trailer fully electrically powered by 2,650 watts of solar panels on the roof and 9.6 kilowatt hours of lithium iron phosphate batteries, as well as Starlink for internet connectivity. Click on the card above to watch the overview video of all our modifications, which enabled us to never use our generator or any propane throughout the entire trip. This was also the first trip with James, who was born 9 weeks before we departed. Being in February, we used our heat pump mini split for both heating overnight in below freezing temperatures in Utah and a little bit of cooling in Quartzsite, Arizona. Throughout the trip, we only boondocked on free public lands with one exception of mooch docking in a friend's driveway in Phoenix. Come join us while we explore beautiful new places and test the performance of our fully sun-powered travel trailer in the real world. It is now nearly 8 a.m. and we're down to 21%. About 2 a.m. it was at 40% and I turned on the mini split to 70 degrees. And then about 7 a.m. I turned it to 75 degrees, and so that's why we're down to 21. The sun just barely started shining, so we're at 46 watts of generated solar. Girls, what are you having for breakfast?
Oatmeal, I just burned my tongue.
Yeah? How did you sleep last night?
And I just burned my tongue. Hot.
You were hot last night?
Hot. I had to get on my sleeping bag.
Oh, okay. Well, looking over here, the battery is down to 19% because we boiled some water for the oatmeal. Alright, we're at 18% and we're about to run the blow dryer. Okay, go ahead. So the blow dryer's pulling that much wattage, about 1,000 watts. Is that on high?
Yeah.
Oh, it is on high. Okay, well, we can do a blow dryer, no problem. And plenty to spare, actually. The other thing that's pulling right now, besides the mini split, is we're boiling some more water at the same time as the blow dryer. I wanted to show you a quick update here on the Starlink situation. We are currently located down here, right next to Snowbird Mesa, across this little canyon gorge there. And I was trying to locate Starlink here, and it said it was not available. And the closest place that I could get it available was up here. And so, if we switch back over here, that's this point right here on the map. And so that driving-wise is 7.4 miles, but as the crow flies, that's, I don't know, 6 or 5 miles or something like that. And our Starlink has been working just fine while we've been here. Look at this view. Never gets old seeing such cool things out the windows.
Now we're going to the other side of the canyon.
Come on, let's go exploring. And here is a cool fire pit that was here when we arrived. It was already here. Alright, it's a pretty sheer drop-off in some places, but we can scramble down it over here, potentially. So we're gonna just explore, see if we can get down. Alright, we got down from the ridge. The girls are finding the ground to be very crusty. So we're part way down, but we still have a long ways to go, and I'm not sure that we're gonna make it, but we shall see. Halfway down. You can see right there is the kind of cliff face we just came down. Are you excited, Clara?
Yeah.
Yeah? Show me your excited face. Lucy, show me your excited face. Okay, let's do it. Alright, we got down right where you see the sun at the top of the cliff. That is where our trailer is. And we were able to come down that ridge. No problem. This last part especially was really easy. And down here is a road. You can see that four-wheelers and side-by-sides drive up and down this probably somewhat regularly. And we, if we were to hike far enough out this way, I'm sure we would come out into the valley below, but it would be kind of a long hike, I'm sure. The girls are over here inspecting the cliff walls. We're going to explore this
cool.
Tiny little canyon wash. It comes up this way, and then there's a drop off, and it goes up to where the trailer is. Too steep for us though. What did you find?
A little walking spot.
It's a little slot canyon. Pretty cool. Hey girls, do you see the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah? I don't know if the camera can see it, but the trailer is right there. We're using our ham radios here. This uses some Baofangs that we're using to talk to each other because there's no cell reception out here. We found a cool mud pile, and you can see that the mud has dripped down from the cliff face up there in that divot. It comes straight down when it rains. Well, we're still going up this canyon. We're kind of curious to see if we can get to back to the surface by just going all the way up the canyon, or if we're going to have to go all the way back to where we came from. Girls, it looks like we can probably get back to the surface by just climbing up, continuing up this canyon, but it gets shallow here, and I think we'll be able to make it. Well, we got up out of the canyon, yes, and I'm not surprised, but we're like a couple of canyons away from where the trailer is. If you look here, there's a kind of a pinnacle we're coming to here, and we're going to stay away from the edges of the walls because it's crumbly. So there's the trailer over that way. Did you expect to be here?
No, I expected to be on that side.
Okay, quick update. We went up this canyon here and we went to the surface, went all the way around, and then we came back down this canyon and we're back into the wash. Was that a fun adventure, Clara?
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, it's not done yet because we still have to climb back up the wall, and that's the trailer. I don't know if you can see the trailer, but the truck is like right there. Hey girls, where are we?
Almost to the top.
Almost to the top. There's the trailer. Good climbing. Good job, Clara. We're back in the trailer and the battery's up to 40% and we're getting 1558 watts at 11:33. Well, we're currently getting lots of wind. The wind is gusting up to 31 miles per hour. Looking up here at the panels, they are obviously still there, and that's good. I just wanted to point out that the wind load from just ambient wind from all directions, especially from the back because it's coming here and hitting the back first, is faring just fine. Okay, we're getting packed up and ready to go. You can see Starlink is right out the trailer there, and so I need to stow it, but before that you need to indicate where you're going to be so that it works when you go to where you're going. And so we are going to be going down here to the government wash area, some BLM land that's free down here, and we're just east of Las Vegas a little bit. But the Starlink wasn't available there, so I continued searching northward, and I found a spot that works as right here at the bottom of this white V. And so I just jumped over here to Google Earth, and you can see here that it indicates that it's 4.38 miles away from our intended destination. So we're gonna see if it works when we get there. So then all we need to do is come down here to the Starlink app, go to settings, and then we just hit stow. And I'm gonna hit the stow button, but I'm gonna actually show the camera out here so you can see the moment I hit the stow button, right there, I just hit it, and you can see that the Starlink dish angles upwards. Let's get packed up and go. All right, we've been camped here at Sand Mine Road for 2 nights, and we're taking off now. We're gonna go down to about an hour away to a place called Government Wash. We've enjoyed this place. It's been a fun, convenient location to the Valley of Fire. What did you think of Valley of Fire, Lucy? That's what she thinks of Valley of Fire. How about you girls? What did you think of Valley of Fire? Yeah? We are at Rogers Spring, and they have this really convenient RV parking right here. That's the spring over that way, so we're gonna go check it out. It's a pretty little watering hole picnic area. There's the actual spring there, and then there are some picnic tables and roofs over this way. Oh, there's a black duck. Well, that's the spring. It's so warm right here. Yeah, because it's out of the wind. It's behind these trees, huh? Yeah, it is real windy today. There's this cool waterfall bridge area, which is fun. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is hot spring apparently, because that's definitely warm water. It's not hot, but it's warm. The drive from the Valley of Fire to Government Wash was only a 55-minute drive, or 45 miles. That does not include the stopping at Rogers Springs just to check it out. Here is our turnoff for Government Wash. It's our first time here. Let's see if we can get a cool campsite. Here's the main area. There's a sign. This is Government Point 4x4 recommended. 15-day camping limit. We finally got a spot. It took a little bit of exploration and leveling, But we're all set up, and you can see here I have set out the Starlink dish, and in a second it's going to turn horizontal, find its satellite location, and potentially start working. But as I mentioned earlier, we're like 4.5 miles away from where I said we'd be, so I don't know if it's going to actually work or not. There it goes. You can see it going flat, and it just looks at the whole sky, turns potentially, searches around until it finds the satellites that it's looking for, and then usually it ends up at an angle not flat like that. But initially it is flat until it finds, I don't know what it's looking for. One thing I wanted to point out is I ran the cord, you can see, up over this berm, and then over here I put some rocks on it to try to avoid the kids tripping on it. And then right now what I've set up, the setup I have, is I put it in this battery compartment, which is no longer used as a battery compartment. So the router, the Starlink router, is this right here, and I used the battery strap to strap it down. And then here is a adapter. It goes from my NEMA 1450 outlet that I installed. This is what I use to charge my Tesla when we're at home, and hopefully the Cybertruck someday. Right now it has a NEMA 1450 plug plugged into it, and then that comes to these 4 NEMA 515 plugs that are now 120 volts that I can use for, well, whatever I need. So the Starlink is plugged into one of those. So now I have electricity on this side of the RV, which previously there were no outlets on this side, they're all on the other side. So now I have some up here. And so the router just stays strapped in there, it stays plugged in here, but if I need to power cycle it, I can just unplug it and plug it back in right here, and it stays strapped in. And then this coil of wire, if I need the length, then I have it. Otherwise I coil it up and I leave it in this compartment when we're traveling, and I just unplug it from the satellite dish. And then the plug right here, the wire is coming down out of this compartment. So if we're gonna leave, I don't want the dish to get stolen, and hopefully this helps to avoid that. So I can just put the cord over here, kind of down at the bottom of this door, and actually the cord is thin enough and this gap is big enough that it will close on the cord, and then I can close this right here and also lock it here. So now the router at least is secure, and the cord would be worthless. If they cut the cord, then they can cut it, but they can't steal the router, and they can't get a perfectly functioning cord. Over here, like I said, they could technically unplug the cord from the dish and they could take the dish. This is the 2nd gen dish, so it has a removable cord at this end. So hopefully they don't do that. But they wouldn't have a functioning dish without the cord, so I guess they could buy a new replacement cord, but then they wouldn't have the router, so they kind of need all that. So that's the setup that I have here, and so far it has worked in all the other locations. And now that it's been on for a couple of minutes, let me see. Oh yeah, it looks like maybe it's working. So I can pull up the Starlink app right here. It says it's online, and we can come over here to the speed, and it will do a speed test. And so right now it's doing Android to the internet, so that's my phone to the internet, and 46 megabits per second is not bad. It's not as good as it can get to, for sure, but considering I'm 4.38 miles away from where I said I'd be, I'm happy that it works at all, frankly. If we switch over here, so this is now router to the internet, much better. So some of that slowness was, I guess, my phone to the router, and then it's actually getting some upload speed here, so that's good. And you can see the graph of that result down there. So then the next test it's going to do is the Android to the router. So that's showing about the internet speed we were getting a few minutes ago. So then the next test I want to use is this speedtest.net app. So I can hit go on this, and this is getting about the same as the other test. It got into the 40s there momentarily, and now is settling in the mid 30 megabits per second download range. And now we're going to test the upload. That's the big question here, and okay, it's better than the other test was showing. This is now 7 megabits, 8, 9, almost 10 megabits per second. I think that's very acceptable. It's better than many people have elsewhere. So we ended up with 12 up and 36 down. We're getting the bikes ready to go explore in this area. We got some of them already out, and we have the sand toys out. The girls are making lots of dust. And then over here, looks like we're still getting sand toys out of the bed of the truck. You're making me dizzy. let's go in the trailer and check on the battery. Last I saw it, we were at our other campsite and it was at like 30 or 40 something percent. So, where is it now? Oh, hey James. All right, so coming over here, Jessica is cooking on the induction cooktop. Some hamburger, it looks like. Sausage. And the battery is up to 97%. That's fantastic. And we're still at 602 watts. And the AC loads there, you can see, are at 870 watts. So we're actually withdrawing from the battery right now at 455 watts. But that's fantastic that we got from our last campsite, which was at about 42% when we left, and we're now at 97% arriving at our new campsite. So about 7 a.m. it was at about 25%, and then it went down a little bit there, more from there. In any case, we are now producing about 75% worth of the battery of electricity in a day. But keep in mind, it's probably more like 100% actually, because we have been consuming some of the AC electricity this morning and throughout the day a little bit. I did turn off the inverters while we were driving though, just to help conserve some energy since we didn't need it for anything. Alright, quick status update. We're all eating dinner, including James. And we've got some great dinner that Jessica made. How is it, girls? Good. After using the cooktop and the crock pot and stuff, we are down to 90%, and we used up also the energy that the solar was producing at the time, and now that's down to 162 watts. Well, we finished dinner and the sun is setting. It's a beautiful sunset. I got my bike off the bike rack and got the bike trailer out of the bed of the truck and assembled it. And now we are going to go on a little bike ride to explore around here. Are you excited, girls?
Yeah!
We have here a new bike I haven't shown on the channel yet. This I got in the last 8 months or so. This right here is about a 1.1 or a 1.2 kilowatt hour battery. And then it has down here the HD, I can't remember the exact model, I'll put it here on the screen. There's a 1,000 watt mid-drive motor, and there's other upgrades on here as well. It has an LCD screen here to give you your output and whatnot. So anyway, we're gonna go for a fun ride. Pulling a bike trailer can be a lot of work. So having an e-bike be what pulls the trailer makes a gigantic difference. And I can go a lot farther and a lot faster, and the kids have way more fun when I'm riding the e-bike. I'm still getting lots of exercise, but they are not sitting there sweltering in the heat of the sun, or if it's summer, if it's just hot, while I'm huffing and puffing up the hills. They can still have some wind blowing on them as I'm going up the hill. And this battery size is fantastic. I went for a bike ride last summer, pulling the kids in there. I think they were about 100 pounds between all the kids. I went 8.5 miles in just like an hour, and it was like nothing. And there's still plenty of battery left. I can't remember all the stats. Comment below if you're interested in more videos about this bike, and I can do that. But yeah, it's a great type of transportation to have, and you still get exercise. This allows me to be able to go on long bike rides and take them along, and they enjoy it. And I'm still getting exercise, but I'm not like completely exhausted trying to pull them around. So we're having a fun little ride here just before the sun sets. The temperature is cooling down for a little bit. It was 70 degrees earlier. And this is the view. This is Lake Mead. This is one of the bays just off of the main Lake Mead, which is more that direction. I'm impressed that there's some people camping down here. Definitely wouldn't want to bring my trailer down here. There's no way to, well, I guess you could turn around where that white truck is, but they are there, so it would be a little sketchy. And here is the bay. What do you think, girls?
Good.
Beautiful view across the water. And it's been mostly downhill here, and that's yet another advantage of an e-bike. You can confidently go downhill knowing you can get back out. So now we're going to do that. This is a pretty good hill here, and it's definitely very loose gravel. No hard pack. I'm going to try going up it with entirely just throttle and not even pedaling, just to see how it goes. Because keep in mind, I'm pulling the trailer. It's just hard for me to pedal because I have one hand holding the camera. And so right now I'm going up the hill, no problem. If we look down here at the screen, you can see the torque on the outside, on the right side of the screen, that goes up to, looks like it peaks at 1500 watts. So if I reduce the throttle, you can maybe, I don't know, it's probably too shaky to see, but I can increase the throttle, and like here it's 1500 watts, and we just take off. I'm also in the gear that has the most torque. And then also there's a road this way. I just realized, oh, so we got up that hill, by the way, just like that. I never pedaled. Let's go down here and see where this goes. There's a beautiful view, sunset view across the water. There's even, I don't know if you can see it, but there's some stars or planets starting to show up over there already. And it looks like there's some people mudding over here, getting stuck in the mud. There's where the trucks are stuck, and we just rode up these hills, and it was really fun. I'm gonna have the girls hold the camera, and then they'll show you what it looks like. Ready, Clara?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Did our wheels pop? No. Are they flat? No. That's bad. Well, Dad pumped it up. Ah! There's the trailer, Claire. Wow.
Home sweet home, huh, Bill?
Yeah.
It's time to go to bed. Good night, girls. See, this door shuts between the living room and the back room. It's now at the end of the day and we're going to bed, and the battery's still at 82%, and at this point we don't need the mini split, but we might need it in the middle of the night. Tomorrow we're going to have a hard time using all the power that's going to be available to us between the solar that we're going to get during the day and this stored battery. We'll see how it goes. Looking at the Victron monitoring portal for this day, you'll see that the state of charge of the battery was really going down very slowly because almost nothing was running until about here, which I mentioned around 4 a.m. is when I turned on the mini split. And here you can see the consumption increased. You see the bar right here jumped up, and it was pulling about 300 watts while it was on at that time in the morning. And then around here is when we wake up or start using more energy in this region of 7 to 9. And then the solar production starts to really ramp up. So the state of the charge of the battery got as low as 17% and then climbed throughout the day. Here at the top of the day, the solar was producing 1.6 kilowatt hours in 1 hour. And then the battery peaked at 97%. And here's when we were preparing dinner, and then the consumption kind of dropped off when we didn't have the mini split running for a while, and we were just kind of chilling in the trailer doing miscellaneous things. And it looks like by the end of the day, the battery got down to 74%. So we began the day at 45%, and we ended the day at 74%. The solar yield for the whole day was 1 kilowatt hour more than the day prior, which was 10 kilowatt hours before, so today is 11 kilowatt hours. Keep in mind our battery bank is 9.6 kilowatt hours. Then consumption over here, we consumed 5.1 kilowatt hours, which is about half the battery bank worth of electricity of the AC or alternating current electricity. This consumption box here does not display the DC electrical consumption from what I can tell. In the next video, after doing some bicycle maintenance, we explore government wash some more on our bicycles before we pack up our truck and RV and get on the road. We drive to a nearby campground to dump our water tanks, then continue on to tour the Hoover Dam, then continue on down to Craggy Wash just north of Lake Havasu in Arizona.